$150 worth of coloring books and supplies. I did plant a few seeds. We still got $40 to spend, ladies and gentlemen. Done! You need to diversify yourself a little bit, girlfriend. Do I buy a used one? Oh, man, it's so easy to spend money. I am currently huddled up with a blanket right now because apparently we're going through some sort of Antarctic blast at the moment. I don't even know if you can hear the wind. You might be able to because it's very loud. So yes, that is my reason for cuddling up with a blanket today. But hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kira, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how I shop for coloring books and coloring supplies on a budget. Now, I'm just a girl in her late 20s, still trying to figure out what it is she wants to do with her life. I feel like I'm edging closer and closer to what that might be, but I've spent a majority of my life hopping between jobs trying to figure out what sets my soul on fire, and because of that I haven't progressed very far in a particular career path, and so my income isn't the highest. Oh, did you hear that? There was something weird going on in my throat. But just because I don't have a whole heap of money to spend doesn't mean I can't still invest in my love for coloring. So yes, today I'm going to be sharing with you some tips if you're also on a budget but still want to indulge in the joy that is adult coloring, and also just share with you some shopping guidelines that I set for myself so I can still afford to eat at the end of the day after shopping for my coloring supplies. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how I put these tips and guidelines into practice, and we're going to shop my Amazon wish list. All right, let's get into the video. Now, just a bit of a disclaimer, this video isn't going to be me sharing super cheap supplies and books. I'm at a stage in my coloring journey now where I really want to prioritize quality over quantity, just because I found that investing in a smaller amount of supplies and books that are of higher quality really elevate my coloring experience. So my first tip for you is something that I'm sure you're already doing, which is make an Amazon wish list, or any sort of wish list really, full of coloring supplies and coloring books that you love. To figure out what coloring books I want to purchase, I look at 3 types of videos on YouTube. Completed pages videos, haul videos, as well as monthly plans videos. This way, not only do I see how pages can look colored, but also uncolored as well. Then once I find some coloring books that I think I might want to purchase, I'll look at an in-depth flip through on YouTube, and if I want to color at least 50 to 60% of the book, then I add it to my Amazon wish list. Another criteria that I also look for books before I purchase them is whether they have good quality paper, and also if they work with the supplies that I currently own. I do a similar sort of process with coloring supplies. However, I don't just look at a review of the supply on YouTube. I'll often look at tutorials on how to use them as well, because if the supply looks too difficult to grasp or is too messy, I don't like anything too messy either, then I know it's not going to be the supply for me. I would also recommend waiting around 1 to 2 weeks before purchasing anything on your wish list, just so you know that you actually want that book or that supply and it's not just an impulse purchase. I've definitely had some items on my wish lists where I look at them a few weeks later and I'm like, actually, I don't think I want that anymore. So yeah, give yourself a little bit of breathing time with each product. My second tip is to download an extension onto your website browser that alerts you when a product goes on sale or drops in price. I've never done this personally, but I think you can get Amazon to notify you when the price of an item drops, but I personally use an extension called Karma on my Chrome browser. This extension allows you to add any product from any website onto your Karma watch list, and then once there is a price drop, it will send you an email to let you know. Karma actually works really well with Amazon wish lists. You actually have the option to put the whole wish list onto your Karma watch list, I suppose. I don't know if it's called watch list, but that's what I call it. So you don't have to go individually through each product on your Amazon wish list and add it to Karma. I'm gonna do a bit of a screen recording now to see if that happens here, so that I can show you. I have 2 Amazon wish lists, one for supplies and one for books. Okay, perfect. So it's just come up on my coloring books wish list right here in the right corner. It says save this list to Karma. This page will scroll automatically and save all items. So if I click run and save here, this list was saved. So literally every item on this wish list is now on my Karma watch list, and I'll be notified via email when any price drops happen. Okay, tip number 3 is a pretty obvious one, but it's to purchase products during major sale events. I'm talking Black Friday, end of financial year sales, Prime Day, wink wink. Today is Prime Day, so you'll be seeing me shop that later in this video. But I would say Black Friday is my favorite time of the year to shop because I can get all my Christmas shopping out of the way, and I find that the deals are pretty good even like just before Black Friday. I feel like the week before now is major sales as well. Tip number 4 is to set yourself spending guidelines. Now, obviously setting rules and guidelines isn't for everyone, but it's something that really works for me because I am such a goal-setting individual. I'm also a major rule follower. It also helps me feel less guilty whenever I do spend my money on products that, aren't necessarily necessary to everyday living. So I have 2 major guidelines that I've set for myself. The first one is to only spend $30 a month on any coloring book or supply. And so if there comes a time when I really want to purchase a product that is more than $30, I have to wait a certain amount of months till I can buy it. Say something is a $90 product, I would have to wait 3 months to purchase that because then it's like 3 lots of 30, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. And then twice a year, I'm going to allow myself to spend $150, treat myself a little bit. So this will be during my birthday as well as at Christmas time. And my birthday is this month and Christmas is at the end of the year, so it's kind of like evenly spread out really nicely. I really like having this sort of spending limit for myself as well because it just makes it more exciting to grow my collection slowly, because I feel like if I bought everything that I wanted at once, I don't know, I feel like the novelty would wear off. There's just something really gratifying to me about slowly accumulating your collection and finally buying that book or that supply that you've had your eye on for ages. And obviously this is just what works for me and my financial situation. Everyone's circumstance is different. I'm hoping one day I'll be able to up this spending limit, but right now with my current circumstances, this is what works for me. All right, so those were just some quick fire tips to hopefully help you with your budget coloring spending. Now, as I said, my birthday is this month, so it is time to treat myself to $150 worth of coloring books and supplies. So we're gonna go shopping together and I'm gonna talk you through my thought process whilst I'm shopping to kind of show you what I prioritize buying right now and what I'm just gonna save for later in the future. We're going to look at my coloring supplies list first and shop that because since I'm still, around 9 to 10 months into my coloring journey, I would say I don't have many coloring supplies, and that's more of a priority to me at the moment. Just because, you use coloring supplies every time you color, you don't necessarily color in the same book. Hopefully you're understanding my logic there because it makes sense in my brain, but I sometimes struggle to articulate my thoughts. This is my coloring supply list. I won't go into it in too much detail. I've got a cutting mat, the Derwent Inktense pencils, the Artistro white paint pens, the Faber-Castell Black Edition color pencils. This was thanks to some of you commenting how you use these in your Amazon paper books. It's also got a Prime Day deal at the moment. The Brut Funa macarons, the Neo Color 2s, the Caran d'Ache palette, some soft pastels, a 300 slot pencil case, the Derwent battery operated eraser pen, a sharpener, some extenders, the Ohuhu pastels, we know how much I want those, the Pentel Art Sparkle Pop metallic gel pens, and then also the Sakura Jelly Rolled glaze pens. Now, obviously there aren't too many Prime deals on a lot of these products. which is a shame, but you know, you win some, you lose some. And there's also products on my Amazon lists where I'm not necessarily looking to buy them anytime soon. They're more just there for a one-day purchase. Like the Derwent Inktense pencils, I'm not interested in buying anytime soon, but I do want to get them at some point in the future. Now, the first thing that I know I definitely want to get from this list is this pencil case holder. I currently store my pencils in a very inconvenient tray case. It's very cheap, and this is just gonna make my life a whole lot easier. So this is definitely an add to cart. I definitely also want to get a pencil sharpener. This was recommended by Sarah Renee Clark in her, what's it called? She did a video testing out like every sharpener in the world or something like that, and this was... My cat is doing something weird outside. Let's ignore it and I hope it's fine. But yeah, she did a sharpener review of like a gazillion sharpeners, and this was one of the good manual ones. It looks like, ooh, the clear one is particularly cheaper than the other colors. We love that. Only 5 left in stock. All right, add it to cart. Man, it's so easy to spend money. All right, let's go back to the list and see if there's any other coloring supplies. Even though these are on sale, I don't feel the need to get the Sparkle Pop gel pens at the moment. I think I'll get those once my Pentel Hybrid dual metallic pens run out. I wanted to get this electric eraser pen to do bokeh backgrounds. And I've also seen people make clouds with it as well in their colored work, but it looks like they only have a used one. Do I buy a used one? Oh, these are decisions that I struggle to make. I feel like I should just buy a new one. I always feel a bit iffy about buying used products that have been like returned, because I'm like, why was it returned then? Oh, it just says item will come in original packaging. Packaging will be damaged. If it's just the packaging that's damaged, I don't really care. You know what? Let's just add it to the cart and then we'll decide later if we want to risk it for the biscuit. There's nothing else on this list that I desperately want right now, so let's go over to the coloring books. When I make these large orders like this, I've set myself the rule that, well, not a rule, but a general guideline that I only want to buy one book from each illustrator, just because I want to have a collection that has a varied amount of illustrators. Obviously, we all have our favorites, but I don't know, I just want to try to support as many illustrators as possible. So as you'll see here, I've got Magical Jungle and World of Flowers by Johanna Basford. I really want to buy Magical Jungle just because I've seen a lot of completed pages in it recently and I love coloring animals, and Johanna Basford is one of my favorite illustrators, but literally 4 out of the 6 coloring books I own are from Johanna Basford. So I'm like, Kira, you need to diversify yourself a little bit, girlfriend. So I'm gonna leave those for now. Sometime in the future they will be mine, I'm sure. I do really want to try Mel Pemeni's books. It looks like Circle of Life is currently out of stock, so I'm gonna add Enchanted Earth. I'm really enjoying doing alcohol marker work with pencil on top at the moment, and I want to do it in a book that's not Amazon paper, so Enchanted Earth is perfect for me. Oh, Lulu Mayo! I am so excited to own a Lulu Mayo book. I have been desperate to purchase one, and because I love coloring animals so much, I am going to go with A Million Baby Animals. I am so tempted to buy A Million Sea Creatures as well, since it is also only $15. We'll see how much I've spent at the end of this. Okay, Rita Berman, another author that I only own one book of, but I'm absolutely obsessed with her travel books, and I really want to own both the Europa one and the Africa one. It looks like the Europa one is currently on sale thanks to Prime Day. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so tempted to also buy both of these because initially I said I didn't want the Africa book, but I've seen more and more pages completed in it, and then now all of a sudden I want it as well. And if I already have the Asia book and then I buy the Europa book, then I might as well buy the Africa book as well. I need the whole set. I'm not a girl who can just only have like 2 out of the 3 books. So add to cart, done. I can't believe that's only $13. Literally in Australia, that book has been $33 for so long. I'm so glad I waited for Prime Day. All right, how are we going with our subtitle? We're only at 110. We still got $40 to spend, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I also have Magical Woodland by Kate Pellerin, but this book is still on pre-order here in Australia. It's very frustrating. So I think this will be my purchase for next month, I think. Here are some mythographic books that I definitely want to get my hands on one day. I don't own any mythographics. So I've been through all of the mythographic books. I've looked at a gazillion flip-throughs online, and these were the three that stood out to me the most. Deep Blue, Magical Earth, and Wild Summer. I've also been wanting to try out Hannah Carzon, so the Tales from Atlantis. Far out, I can't speak today. Tales from Atlantis book looks the most up my alley, but I don't know. I feel like I'd rather buy another book instead. Kirby Rosanes. I don't know how to say that. I've heard people say Kirby Rosanes and Kirby Rosanes, so however you say it. I'm still very intimidated by his books. They scare me, and I'm also just... there is a massive motorbike outside. I feel like some of his pages are just a bit too masculine and scary for me. I'm such a soft-hearted human. But then so many people rave about them, so I have the Mythomorphia one on here because that's the one that has appealed to me the most out of all the flip-throughs I've looked at. I also have Year of Witches. I know that's an Amazon paper book, so not really at the top of my wish list. I also have been wanting to try a Maria Troll book. Shooting Star has appealed to me the most, but that's also on pre-order here in Australia. And then this spooky coloring book, which is not really something I would go towards, but I feel like that would be a really cute one to color in like Halloween time. Maybe I'll get that later in the year. Okay, look, I've got $40 more to spend. What do I do? Do I go ahead and buy another Johanna Basford book? I've also been desperately wanting the Furballs book by Deanne Defoe. I think I need to turn the camera off for a second and have a think. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. After much agonizing in my head, I decided just to go with the pre-order by Kate Pellerin, the Magical Woodland book. And so these are all the items that I'm currently adding to my shopping cart. Magical Woodland, Mindriser Dirge Europa, A Million Baby Animals, Enchanted Earth. I'm gonna try the used Derwent battery-operated eraser pen. I'm sure I can just send it back if it doesn't work. I'm going to get this Katsuwa pencil sharpener. Hopefully it's as good as Sarah Renee Clark said. And then also this much needed 300 slot pencil case, which brings my total to $137.35. I also bought Prime so that I could get the deal for the Mindriser Europa book, because that actually ended up being cheaper to buy Prime than paying for delivery, because it's coming internationally or something like that. So technically I spent $147.35. I'll definitely do a haul once all of these items come to my doorstep, and who knows, maybe I'll be lucky enough to get a few other goodies for my birthday. I did plant a few seeds, but I'll also put my wish lists in the description below, just in case if you want to shop some of these goodies for yourself too. All right, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing my thought processes as I was shopping. I feel like finances are such a taboo topic nowadays, and they really don't need to be. It's just another part of life, and I love seeing how people spend their money, so it gives me ideas on how I can save and prioritize my money spending as well. Happy coloring, friends. Have a good day, have a good life, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!